Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist, and I talk about a lot of different topics on my YouTube channel here, Dr. Seth, psychologist, and I review a lot of different self improvement topics on human behavior and how to become more self aware, how to become more confident, how to improve our relationships and our overall growth mindset in life so that we can enjoy life more and have more successful lives. But not necessarily just more financially successful lives, also more emotionally successful lives. I think that in school, a lot of times kids growing up and in high school, all anybody ever really talks about is financial success, and making a lot of money. But gosh, do you know how much emotional success really matters? And in fact, I think a lot of people, if you were to poll a lot of people toward the end of their lives and ask them, which matters more, making a lot of money or being emotionally successful in life? I think a lot of older people would probably say, focus just as much, if not more, on being emotionally successful, building a good relationship with yourself and others, and just your whole worldview, making it positive in general. Okay. So there are a lot of times when I talk about topics that are really positive, and yet there are some times when I talk about topics that it's just simply not topics that you can smile a lot about. There really isn't much joy in the topic itself. And that's this one. This is, I think, actually at root, a pretty heartbreaking topic. And what I'm talking about is a relationship topic. And, it relates to a question that I've gotten in my work with clients. Over the years, you can imagine I have heard many, many different questions that people struggle with when it comes to their relationships. And this question is it possible? Is it actually possible to grow to hate someone that you're married to? Is it possible to actually grow to hate your husband or wife? Hate. I mean, hatred. Could there be a stronger word? And you may have heard some people say, well, if you love someone once, you'll love them your whole life. I'm thinking of songs written about love. I think love is the topic there are more songs written about than any other topic. I'm thinking right now of the Lionel Richie song, Endless Love. And so, we hear that on the radio that love goes on forever, but does it? Or are some relationships so troubled where there is so much resentment and anger that actually one or two people can grow to feel hatred toward the other in the relationship? And so ultimately, I do believe that it is possible that one can grow to hate their husband or their wife or their long term partner in a relationship. Now, if that happens, why does it happen? Here's what's important to know about coming to hate someone that you're in a long term relationship with. It doesn't happen overnight, of course. It is a process. Typically, it is the reflection of an accumulation of resentments. It is resentments that grow and snowball for too many years. And nobody ever sees it coming, right? People in a given moment in a relationship may feel frustrated towards each other, even angry towards each other. But there is an invisible line that two members of a couple can cross, an invisible line where they can cross the line over into hatred if they're not careful. If resentments grow too much and they grow unaddressed and unfixed. Now, what are some common reasons for hatred to grow? Sometimes it has to do with infidelity and betrayal, that a person feels violated and betrayed in such a horrific way, especially if those transgressions continue to happen over time. Sometimes in a relationship, a person may feel that they can overlook something their partner did that was incredibly painful. But if it keeps happening, that pattern of behavior can cause resentment to the point that it can actually turn into hatred. And hatred in a relationship is so devastating because I don't know, when you reach the point of hatred, can you go back? Is there even research, really, truly amazing research that we can look to answer that question? Well, the truth is, a lot of research depends on self report studies. And the truth is, we don't have data on a lot of relationships and couples where there is so much hatred. So it's a difficult thing to research. But what a lot of people will tell you who have been betrayed or someone has been unfaithful to them as a pattern over the years, that they themselves can start to feel this sense of hatred. Another reason why hatred can actually start to grow between two people in a relationship is because of emotional neglect. Just being dismissed emotionally or ignored, neglected for too long, unsupported time and time again in a time of emotional need, someone just not being there for you, someone just not seeming to care. Boy, the other person can really come to feel so hurt, so left out in the cold, so shut out that what happens is the resentments day after day, as I mentioned earlier, can cross that invisible line into hatred, into the beginning seeds of hatred. And that can grow if it's not addressed, confronted in healthy ways, and fixed. And then finally, abuse of really any kind or manipulation. Abuse and manipulation, those experiences can impact a person's mind and make them feel unsafe, scared, insecure in a way that you could argue a person's central nervous system just has a hard time coming back from, let alone what a person thinks. Remember, too, we all have central nervous systems. We all have a central nervous system that wires our responses to people. Someone hurts us, abuses us, manipulates us, and some people will report they actually come to feel hate towards the very person that they may have made vows to, moved in with, even had children with, spent years together with. No one ever imagines the beginning of a relationship that by the end, there could be actual hatred. Actual hatred. And when I started this video, I was talking about what a heartbreaking topic this is. Think about each one of those people in a long term couple where anyone feels actual hatred toward the person they're with. Well, think about that person's parent. Think about that person's parent when that person was just a little kid and what their parent wanted for them. Did their parent want for them to grow up one day and get to the point where they feel so heartbroken, so hurt, so beaten down, so angry, so frustrated, so neglected that they actually have come to feel hate towards the very person that we would all hope is the person that could love them the best, offer the most comfort and security and support? How sad that is. Now, I just want to leave you with this as we close today. It doesn't have to be the end of the story. It doesn't have to be, as they say, all she wrote. It doesn't have to be. You can rewrite that script if you are someone who has come to feel that degree of hatred. You can do it. You can heal. It is going to take a process. You can get educated about this through helpful self-help books on relationships, through psychotherapy, through mental health services, if that's what you can seek out, through trusted friendships and relationships that can help you build your self-esteem back up, build your faith and hope in people, right? I'm thinking for a moment about the old Carly Simon song, Coming Around Again. If you don't know it, check it out. But she says basically at one point in the song, I believe in love. And that's the thing. When you have gotten to a point in a relationship where you feel hatred towards another person, what you need to be careful about is that something that might have gotten extinguished in the process is you may have stopped believing in love. And that is a very emotionally destitute place to be. What I wish for anyone who ever gets to the point of feeling hatred towards a spouse or a long-term partner is that once again, they can do the healing, do the work to improve how they feel, and that once again, they can start to believe in love. All right. If this video has been helpful, you may find some other videos here on my channel on relationships helpful. Dr. Seth, psychologist. Take care, everybody, and I wish you the best.